everyone. I hope this finds you well and living your very best life in Jesus Christ. Yesterday I spoke about the importance of listening. Well, today I would like to take a moment and talk about what often comes with our refusal to listen to others, or even worse, our failure to simply communicate well. It almost invariably leads to frustration and anger. Anger is often difficult to deal with, but when we fail to deal with it properly, it's a corrosive agent, and it eats a hole into our very hearts and minds. And also it inevitably spills over to us from others. The end result is, frankly, ugly and painful. When we're dealing with anger, we often fall back to Ephesians 4:26, which tells us, "In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you're still angry." But there's much more in the scripture that tells us what God has to say about anger. For example, Psalm 37:8 tells us, "Refrain from anger and turn from wrath. Do not fret. It leads only to evil." God says that we're to put a stop to anger. It should simply not be given a place in us. Putting a stop to anger starts with knowing what causes it. Well, psychologists will tell you that anger is a byproduct of certain ways of thinking, which tend to block communication. We often get angry when our expectations are not met, or when our pride is offended, or when our pursuit of our goals is blocked, or just plain when our feelings get hurt. When we get angry about these things, we respond in several ways. I read sometimes that there are somewhere, I don't know where, that there are three types of people when it comes to anger. There are brewers, stewers, and spewers. Brewers internalize their anger. They stuff their anger into their hearts, and over time it's poison that seeps into their soul. It shuts down their emotions, and it cripples their relationships. Usually these type of people are not even aware of their anger or the impact it's having on them and the people around them. It's hidden deep within their hearts, unacknowledged and unaddressed. Stewers are different in that their anger is not hidden. You can see and sense it in them. These folks are agitated, irritated, frustrated, and other aids. There is an intense presence about them. You never know if or when the explosion is coming, but you know it will come. They rumble and grumble their way through life in a heated and very semi-threatening way. Spewers do exactly what their name implies. Whatever is on the inside comes out, and whoever is nearby gets barraged by the blast. Spewers rant and rave like an emotional tornado. They detonate and then dissipate, but they leave lots of destruction in their wake. Brewing, stewing, and spewing are all bad options when it comes to dealing with anger. Each is the wrong way to handle it. God simply says to stop it. So the appropriate question is, how? Well, the first thing we need to do is recognize anger in ourselves. Too often we're hijacked by anger without realizing what's happening to us and in us. We need to develop a personal sensitivity to the signs and symptoms of anger in our own hearts and minds, and not let anger sneak up on us and blindside us. We need to recognize our anger. We need to reflect on it, and quietly and carefully, which takes time. Well, anger doesn't want reflection. It demands reaction. It screams at you to throw caution to the wind. Say what you want to say and do what you feel like doing. Well, the Bible's very clear. That's the path to sin. And we need not let anger ever really have its way. When we detect anger in ourselves, we need to slow down, step back, zip up our lips, and take control of our minds. We have to ask ourselves questions like, where is our anger coming from, and what's causing it, what started it, and why are we letting it control us? Uncontrolled anger has serious consequences that can damage you and others if left unchecked. Well, after recognizing the anger and after reflecting on it, we are ready to release it. And how do we release it? Do we blow? No, we hand it over to God. By turning our disappointments, our offenses, our frustrations, and our hurts over to God, we choose to do two things. We simultaneously show our trust and faith in Him, and we make sure that anger doesn't invade us and poison or pollute our lives. That means we forgive people. We accept disappointments and delays patiently, trusting God's plan and timing. We don't stiffen ourselves with pride. We try to be humble. And most of all, we learn to simply let it go. Today, I urge you to seek out any unresolved anger in your life and begin the process to deal with it in a godly and biblical manner. Because let me tell you from experience, nothing can rob peace and joy and destroy relationships more quickly than unresolved anger. I hope you make today a fantastic day. I want you to know that I'm here should you need me. And I truly love you all.